Very funny, Charlie. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard it. You have a great repertoire. Hey, I've got a couple for you. And now these two guys are hitchhiking down the road, see? And a girl comes out of a farmhouse. Charlie, I better tell you that one later. Yeah. How about having dinner tonight? Oh, wait a minute, Charlie. What?
You cannot have dinner with Charlie Webb tonight.
Why not?
Because you're dining with Aunt Martha.
My Aunt Martha?
No.
Your Aunt Martha?
No.
Well, whose Aunt Martha's?
Vi's Aunt Martha.
Oh, Vi. I'm sorry, Charlie. I won't be able to make it tonight. No, I'll call you later. Right. Bye. Are you sure I'm supposed to go to Vi's house tonight?
Now, Mr. Sands, you've had this date for weeks. We're both going.
Oh, yes. But why? Is it Vi's birthday or something?
No. It's just that Vi has worked for you for 5 years now, and you've never been to her house. It's a sweet gesture. She's been in a tizzy for weeks, so try to be a little enthusiastic about it.
Oh, I am enthusiastic, and it is very sweet. Aunt Martha's, huh?
Yes. Vi lives with her.
Where?
In Canarsie.
Canarsie? That's in Ireland.
Oh, Mr. Sands, that's Tipperary. It's a long, long way to Tipperary.
Not from Canarsie, I bet.
Well, Canarsie is in Brooklyn, but it's only about an hour from here.
An hour? Oh.
Now, Mr. Sands, this means so much to Vi. Be a little cheerful about it.
Oh, I am cheerful. I've always wanted to go to Canarsie. I understand the natives are quaint and the food is exotic.
And they have ships sailing for Manhattan every other Wednesday. You'll be home in no time. Yes, sir.
I do not think...
Now, have you got that? Good. Now, let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, yes, Aunt Martha. Would you ask Della Loganberry if she'd lend us her glasses? You know, the pretty ones?
Violet, for goodness sakes, don't worry about a thing. Della Loganberry's here, and she brought the pretty glasses. Yes, she's staying for dinner.
Oh, Martha.
Now, you just get home on time and leave the rest to us. Bye. I've never seen Violet in such a dither. You'd think she was bringing an Indian prince home for dinner.
Or Prince Charming, perhaps.
Violet has no Prince Charming. It's Mr. Sands.
Well, it isn't any of my business, but I think there's more than meets the eye to Vi's inviting Mr. Sands home to dinner.
Why, Della, you're not suggesting.
I never suggest. I'm telling you. A romance has sprung up between them like a geyser in Yellowstone Park.
Della, you're silly. There couldn't be anything between Mr. Sands and Violet.
Oh, couldn't there? Huh. You can't tell me that two people can work together for 5 years without something happening. You can't tell me that after 5 years, Vi would invite Mr. Sands home to dinner out of a clear blue sky.
Oh, dear, but Violet's such a shy girl. That's not like her.
Vi has been a wallflower all her life, Martha. But when those flowers once leave the wall, watch out.
Della, you don't suppose?
Of course I suppose. If he hasn't proposed already, he will tonight.
Oh, I wonder. Two people can't work together for 5 years without something happening.
Just what I said.
And Violet wouldn't bring him home for dinner just out of a clear blue sky.
Unquote. And didn't you say that Vi was in a dither?
Oh, she is.
Well, and didn't she ask for my pretty pink glasses? Oh, Della!
Della, I'm going to see that Violet names her first baby after you. And if it's a boy, we'll call it Delbert.
Oh, I certainly would be honored, Martha. It'd be sort of like a memorial to me after I'm gone.
Oh, they're here, Martha.
Steady, Martha. Slow and steady wins the race. Well, here we are.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Sands. I'm Martha's Aunt Vi. Oh, dear, Vi's Aunt Martha.
So nice to meet you, Aunt Martha, after all this time. May I?
Oh.
For you.
For me? Flowers? Oh, dear, well, thank you. Oh, Mr. Sands, I want you to meet my very good neighbor and friend, Adela Loganberry.
How do you do?
I'm so glad to meet you. Vi never stops talking about you.
Huh?
Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, Susie, I didn't realize you were coming.
Oh, you didn't? Didn't Vi tell you?
Why, Aunt Martha, of course you knew Susie was coming.
Relax and make yourself at home. You know, it's nothing tonight, just home, folks. Nothing fancy.
Oh, Martha always says that. You just wait and see. Martha, may I see you for a moment, please?
Vi, hang up your coats and do it.
What's she doing here? She'll ruin everything.
Oh, Della, that's silly. Susie's a dear, sweet girl who wouldn't ruin anything.
Well, dear, sweet girl or not, she's competition.
Oh, dear. Oh.
If you'll excuse me for just a moment, I'll set an extra place for dinner. Such a nice surprise to see you here, Susie.
Well, I must say it's been sort of a surprise to me, too.
Well, I just don't know what's gotten into everybody. We're all sort of upside down. We don't have company very often.
Well, now, just relax and forget about the worrisome things like business. Oh, Mr. Sands, would you sit over there, please?
Oh, that would be nice.
Oh, you sit over there.
Oh, yes, and I'll sit back.
And Susie, dear, would you sit over there?
Well.
Well.
A lovely day today, wasn't it?
Yes, lovely. How was business at the office?
The office? Oh, it couldn't be better. That right, Susie?
Oh, yes, it couldn't be better. Isn't that right, Vi?
Oh, my, yes.
I must say, I think this is one of the busiest days we've ever had. And it's wonderful the way Vi keeps everything in order. Isn't it, Mr. Sands?
Vi is a rock of Gibraltar. I wouldn't know what to do without her. A lovely apartment you have here, Vi.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sands. It's small, but very comfortable.
It's only temporary, of course, until Violet gets married.
I like Susie's apartment very much.
Thank you. Mine is only temporary, too, until I get married.
Oh, dear, I'd better get the sherry.
How's it going?
Oh, Della, I'm worried. It's Susie. She talks about marriage, and Mr. Sands talks about how nice her apartment is.
What about Vi?
She just sits there.
Isn't she holding his hand?
She isn't even holding his first name. She calls him Mr. Sands.
Now, Martha, we mustn't get panicky. After all, he did bring you flowers tonight, and I'm sure that must mean something.
Well, he'd bring flowers to anyone if he was going to have dinner, wouldn't he?
Well, not necessarily. He might bring candy to just anyone, but flowers have a very special meaning.
He did say that Violet was the rock of Gibraltar. You see? Oh, Della, I hope you're right.
It's all that Susie's fault. Vi should never have brought her here tonight. Susie's blonde hair and pretty heart-shaped face are certainly not going to help Vi's romance any. Take my word for that.
Well, she's here, and she's going to stay for dinner. Heart-shaped face and all.
We have to tear Susie down, make her seem very unattractive to Mr. Sands. By tearing down Susie, we can build up Vi.
I hate to do that to Susie. She's such a sweet girl, and we're so fond of her.
Oh, I couldn't love her more, Martha. But she is in the way.
Maybe you're right. And after Violet's married to Mr. Sands and they're settled down, I'll explain it to her.
And she'll understand.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Well, that looks good.
Oh, do you like sherry, Mr. Sands?
California sherry.
Yes, very much.
Oh, did you hear that, Della?
just like Violet, he likes sherry. Oh, Mr. Sands and Violet have so much in common.
Why, Aunt Martha, you know I never drink sherry.
Well, you'll drink a bit tonight. It'll do you more good than you know.
Oh, Susie, dear, I'm afraid there isn't any hard liquor in the house. Do you mind terribly?
Hard liquor? Well, why should I mind?
Well, Martha's told me how you just love your gin, Susie.
Gin? Oh, she has she?
Well, there's nothing like a good drink at the right time.
That's what Violet always says. Violet loves gin, too.
Honey, look up. Look up. Up, up. Lift your arms. Lift your arms. Arms way up. And now.
It worked!
Just a bit of useful information I picked up years ago.
Well, if there's anything I like, it's a girl with useful information.
Well, Violet is just full of it. Violet, tell Susie something. Susie just told you a bit of useful information. Now, you tell her something.
I can't think of any.
Well, tell her about the twig.
The twig.
Yes, the twig. Now, Susie told you how to stop coughing. You tell her about the twig.
Oh, the twig! Oh, well, it's nothing important, really. Just something I read.
Well, go ahead, dear.
Well, if you're ever being strangled by a python, if you break a twig in two, it will stop and release you. You see, when the python hears the twig break, it thinks it's crushed you. And then when it releases you, well, you can run away.
Oh, well, that's very interesting, Violet.
And useful, too.
Violet's information is so different and extraordinary.
There's no argument there.
Don't you think that's wonderful to know, Susie?
Oh, yes, you never know when you're going to run into a python.
Well, shall we all go into dinner? Take your drinks with you. Oh, Violet, go in here with Mr. Sand. And Della, you come with me. Oh, and Susie, well...
Oh, don't mind me. I'll just look for twigs.
Now, Mr. Sand, you sit right over there, and Violet, you sit right here, yes. Oh, isn't he a gentleman? Oh, Adela, you sit over there.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'll sit here.
You?
Yes. Oh, Susie, you can sit there. Yes, thank you.
Oh, Susie, you can't sit there.
Oh, well, this is quite all right, Vi.
Oh, no, you come sit here, Susie.
No, dear, don't worry about it.
I'm going to get some books, and I'll sit on the stool. Now, you go in there.
Very sweet.
Oh, and I'll just get the first course.
Something very strange is going on here.
You can say that again.
You get it?
No, but I think I'm beginning to.
I wish you'd let me in on it.
As soon as I find out.
There we are.
Oh, thank you.
You know, Violet told me what your favorite meal was, and I hope you're going to like it.
Oh, very thoughtful of Vi.
Vi's the most thoughtful girl I've ever met.
She certainly is.
She'll make the right man the most wonderful, wonderful wife.
Oh, much as I hate to lose my beloved Violet, I realize that I must be unselfish and let her express her real talents. Being a glorious housewife.
For the right man.
No, I'm sure.
What is it?
Later. You will never believe it.
I'm afraid I'm finishing the chicken.
Oh, I'm so pleased that you like it. I wish there was more.
Like it? I could live the rest of my life on Southern fried chicken, and this is the best I'll ever tasted.
Vi made it.
Della, how could I make it? I've been at the office all day.
What Della means is it's Violet's recipe.
Aunt Martha, I never had a recipe for fried chicken.
Well, it came out of that cookbook you gave me. Well, let's get back to Vi made it and let it go to that, huh?
All I know is I've never tasted anything so good in my life.
Oh, thank you. Violet, say thank you.
Thank you.
And there's plenty more where that came from when the right man comes along.
Well, I just wish I could cook chicken like that or any anything at all. I'm just terrible. When the right man comes along for me, he'll have to bring a nurse with him. Well, maybe we'd better go into the living room now. All right, bye. Hey, boss, listen, dear. If you are, yes.
Did you hear that? She's admitted she can't cook.
Then she's given up the competition.
Very sensible of her.
But I'm Martha.
Horse chicken in my life.
Oh, I think I'll sit right back here again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to push it back a little further. I'll get a better perspective.
That's very sensible of you, Susie.
Martha, why don't I put some records on the phonograph, and then we can all dance?
It's a good idea.
Wonderful idea.
Do you have a bonbon?
Oh, yes.
I have been taking lessons in secret, and I want to show Susie how much I've improved.
Susie?
Oh, no. No, you dance with Vi, Mr. Session. Wonderful dance. Just like a gazelle, really. I don't...
Come on, Vi.
Oh, that's fine. Watch it.
Oh, I'm not very good. I usually only listen to those records.
Well, she's a wonderful dancer, isn't she, Mr. Sand?
Excellent. I feel a little silly, though. Just the two of us dancing. Susie, I'll dance with you next.
No, I'll dance with Susie.
I'll beat the rhythm, and then we'll all be occupied.
And Martha, dear, I think I've had it. Do you mind if I sit down? Martha, if you don't mind a bit of advice, I wouldn't go on with this if I were you.
Go on. Susie, what do you mean?
You know very well what I mean, and if you keep this up, it'll end in disaster.
Why, I believe Della was right about you after all.
Right about me.
And I thought you were Violet's friend.
But I am Violet's friend. I'm your friend. That's why I'm trying to tell you about it.
Oh, no, you're not, Susie. You're jealous. You want Mr. Sands all to yourself. Well, Violet's no fighter, but I'll do the fighting for her, and I'm starting right now.
Oh, but now, I'm not... may I cut in?
Oh, it's a shame to break up such an enchanting couple, but you'll have all your lives to dance together. Peter, may I call you Peter?
Oh, please do. I'll call you Aunt Martha.
Oh, I feel like you're my nephew already.
I feel as if you were my aunt.
Well, I think you've made a very important decision. You know, Violet can be easily replaced as a receptionist, but as a wife, well, no one can replace her as a wife.
Oh, I'll make a wonderful wife.
Oh, yes, you'll be an ideal couple.
Who?
You and Vi.
Me and Vi?
Well, you just have to face it. Two people can't work together for 5 years and not have something happen. And when Violet asked you to come here to dinner tonight to meet...
Do you mean that Vi invited me here tonight, too?
Well, when a wallflower leaves the wall, watch out.
Thank you very much for warning me in time. I certainly intend to watch out. Your niece will be replaced not only as a wife, but as a receptionist as well. Mrs. Elderberry, will you kindly stop that noise?
Mr. Sands, please let me explain.
How dare you suggest to your aunt that a romance was brewing between us?
Suggest to my...
Your severance pay will be ready for you in the morning. Kindly stop by for it.
Now, you're making a mistake.
Oh, am I? You're probably in on this, too. No wonder a man stays a bachelor when all the women around him are scheming and... oh, good night. Where in blazes am I?
In Canarsie. Take the Times Square train.
Oh, it's all my fault. Oh, I'm as much to blame as you are, Della. I thought I could have sworn. Oh, Susie, I was terrible to you. What have I done?
Well, you jumped at conclusions and missed the mark.
And Violet's lost her job.
Oh, when Mrs. Sands is angry, he says lots of things he doesn't mean. I'm sure we can get Vi's job back for her. Now stop crying and listen to me. I need your help.
Oh, good morning.
honey?
I just came to collect my things.
Now, don't you collect anything. Everything's going to work out all right.
Oh, Susie, I've never been so embarrassed, so humiliated.
Yes, I know. I don't blame you. May we come in?
Martha! Della! What are you doing here?
Now, they're here on my orders. Now,
Oh, you brought it. Shall we go in now?
no, not now. If you went in now, we'd eat you alive. I'll tell you this time. Here, you just go down there and make yourself comfortable. Very quiet. Lunch.
Oh, thanks. Susie, what is this?
Southern fried chicken, the best you ever tasted. You had some last night.
Is that so? I remember I finished that chicken last night.
Well, we made some more after you left.
Well, I am not going to eat it. I don't want any more of that old hen's chicken.
Oh, don't be silly, Mr. Sands. What happened last night is not this old hen's fault.
I won't eat it.
I'll get you a ham sandwich. Did he eat it? He's putting up a fight, but he may lose.
He ought to be finished by now.
Well, let's give him another minute. Here it is. Yes, Mr. Sands?
Susie, dear, cancel that ham sandwich.
Yes, sir.
And, is there any more chicken?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to see, sir. Ladies, the time is now. You got the rest of the chicken? Okay. Now, good luck.
Susie, he'll kill them.
I don't think so. Mr. Sands is too much of a gentleman not to accept an apology, especially when he's been fattened for the kill.
What are you going to tell him?
The truth?
Oh, I hope he'll be all right.
I don't hear any screams yet.
They're taking so long.
Relax, it's over.
Think nothing of it. A perfectly natural mistake. Oh, Vi, there you are. The ladies have explained everything.
Oh, Mr. Sands, I'm so glad you understand.
A perfectly natural mistake. Now, you get back to that switch.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sands. Thank you. Goodbye, Della. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. See you tonight.
Well, goodbye, ladies, and thanks again for that wonderful chicken.
It was our pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Well, goodbye, Susie.
Goodbye, Aunt Martha.
And thank you from the bottoms of our hearts.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Is there something wrong, lady?
No offense, Mr. Sands.
We know that your relationship with Vi was strictly business, Mr. Sands.
Yes.
It seems a shame to let such a handsome bachelor go to waste.
Don't you think Mr. Sands and Susie make a lovely couple?
Ellen,